Okay, so I just figured out how to do faces, and it involved changing a bunch of stuff with the model, along with basically ignoring how this was visible and making the actual normal head visible again. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide these new blank models in the description, and I'm basically just going to explain how the faces work real quick. Okay, so I'll delete this for now, because what you're going to be left with is you're going to be left with this face. You're going to be left with this default face still, but you're going to have the head. And on this default face, you're going to have to add the decals like we did earlier, which would be from insert asset decal, and then you drag the decal down into the face. You get the face. Then when you load in, you walk over, and then you get this face, right? And you still have that default face. With new faces, what you're going to be doing is you're going to have to duplicate this default face. So you right click it and you duplicate it. And basically what this does is in that GUI, it's going to have another face pop up that you can swap to. So here you got two faces. So you can swap between both. And the main thing is with the model, right? Because you'll see, if I put on a different kind of face, like you're swapping to the second face you want to put on. So if I swap to another face, you'll see that the textures overlap with each other. Now this isn't really an issue. So what you can do is you go into the decal and you will change this transparency to 1. So it will show the default face for your model on your dummy still, and you don't have to worry about that decal showing up. But when you still go in and then you put your model on, it's going to have the option of swapping to that face. The only thing is you have to still toggle them on and off. You can't just click and it immediately swaps one to the other, because the script thinks that it's like the accessories where they can stay on all together. Like how you can't just like swap these, it's like that. So you have to manually toggle on the faces you want to keep. So I'm going to be posting in the description 2 more media files with these new face builds if people want to download those. But I can also walk through the description of how to do it with the old models, which I'm going to do. So I'll insert the model I was using before I discovered this real quick. Rename so I know what I'm doing. Okay. The main assets. You only have your face that's visible, right? This is the only thing that shows where your face is, which is the issue, because when you swap faces, it'll swap the entire head with it. But if you try and make the head visible again, you're going to see, oh, the mesh is different. The mesh is still a mesh from one of the original models. So what we do is we're going to go into the face and we're going to grab the mesh. And then we'd go over to the head and then we'd copy the mesh over. But that's going to make the head bigger. And the main issue is that is because of the original size. So we go in here. Got to change the scale. This is just a scale. So this is what you make it normal size. So let's make these 1, 1, and 1. Right? And for sake, move the hair over. And we will take the position of this, right? And we'll copy it over from our head. So you see these positions is what you type into the head. So negative 22.452. And then 24.827, and then 16.464. And then that overlays that new head. So over here, all you really need to do is you can make this invisible. And then you have to resize some of the head still. So if we go back over here and we look at the rotation, you see that's at 0, 90, 0. So we do the same for the head, right? So 90 and then 0. And you see the full face. And then we would go over and we would copy the skin color. And you see it's the same skin color. And then if we move the hair back to the original position, it looks basically the complete same as from how it is now. And it'll be that same way I showed how to copy the face over. So you would go in, you would duplicate this, then you would change the decal over to another one. Oh my god. Change the decal over, then you make this one invisible, and then you go back in, and then it works the exact same way. So yeah, that's how faces are supposed to work. I still need to look into if I can find a way to just make it so if you insert a face ID, it would take your decal off and swap it. I want to see if that's something I can do with these.